I've got my blanket on because it's a little cold with this fan on and the AC and everything, but I like it, alhamdulillah. I think the stickability is a big thing, right? Being able to stick with what you plan to do. Because specifically in the context of like becoming exceptional, right? Because a lot the work that you need to do to become like exceptional is way more than you think it is. I'm talking to myself here because in my mind I made this channel. I'm like, okay, I can practice talking, I can practice communication, but that's only gonna work if I genuinely like do this like every day for like a good amount of time. Or else if I just make like a few videos, like 10, 15 videos of me just speaking, it's not gonna have that much of an effect because anyone else can just also make 10 to 15 videos and become like as good at speaking as I am. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of volume, a lot of time and effort to separate yourself from everyone else. Because time and effort is what separates you from other people. It's getting that experience, that nuance that separates you from the other people because it's not just something that you can decide to do one day and just do it really quickly. like like starting like a drop shipping business or something, like it's not something you can just do right away and like have complete success with. Like it takes experience to build like a good e-commerce brand, and it takes knowledge, it takes nuance, it takes all these things. Like it just takes a lot more work than you think it does, and this is backed like my I can validate this through Alex Ramosi, the entrepreneur. He posts here on YouTube. Is that he says it's the same thing, that to go so he writes books and he spends 6 hours, the first 6 hours of every day of his life is spent writing his next book. So he's done this for his first book, his second book, and he's doing it right now for his third book. 6 hours every single morning spent writing this thing. That is like, and he does this for like 1 to 2 years. So if you do the math, let's just say 800 times 6, that's over 40, that's like 4,800 hours, for that more than 4,000 hours of working on one thing. That is a lot. That is genuinely a lot of time, and that is to make like his exceptional books that are just so perfectly like concise and like measured and or like his books are very good to the point. And he could have like a good book in way less time, but it won't be as like amazing, exceptional, and one of a kind if he didn't put in all that extra effort. This kind of come back to that idea of work is just work. You have to work. You just have to put in the volume. You have to do the work. You have to work more. You have to get more done. It's all a volume game. I don't know if I'm just being influenced by Alex Hermosi because this is literally what all he talks about. He's like, it's a volume game. It's input, output. You have to find the input that will give you the output you want, and you have to just spam it. Keep spamming that input so much. Obviously not mindlessly and like stupidly, but just doing it more and more and more. And that's what I'm doing right now with this little talking thing between me and you here. And you might see that like the past videos I uploaded were like 2 months ago and I didn't really upload them again. So that can't happen. I have to like practice over and over and over again. It's the same thing with memorizing Quran. Like you can't just memorize it all like quickly and then just be done. Like you have to spend hours. Like let's say it takes 2 hours to memorize one page. That means it takes 1,200 hours to memorize the entire Quran, and that's just the memorization process. That's not even the revision process, which let's say it takes 2 hours to memorize one page, and it takes another 2 hours to revise that page. So that just went from 1,200 to 2,400 hours. 2,400 hours is, wait, let me do the math. Yeah, it's 100 days, right? 2400 divided by 100 is 24 hours. And technically, it's not even accurate because you're not up for 24. Let's just say it's 100 full days of work. And that's full days. So if we divide that in half, that would be 200 like really hard working days. And if we divide 24 by 6 by 4, let's say you work 6 hours a day on the thing. So 2400, that'd be 100. Wait, I'm doing math. Holy shit, I'm doing math. 2400, right? That's 100 days. Then you would actually multiply by 4. So that's 400 days of work to get the outcome. That means if you worked every single day for 400 days straight for 6 hours of memorizing and revising Quran, that's what it takes to have, like, in my mind, like a really solid memorization of the Quran, to where you don't just recognize and feel familiar with the Quran that's being read, but you can actually recite it. You can recite whole surahs without mistakes. And that takes 400 days straight of 6 hours of work. That is humbling. That is humbling. And that is only like entry level. That's like, in my mind, that would allow you to recite everything in the Quran, like any surah that you wanted to, without mistake. But it goes even further than that. You, there's people who can recite surahs in different khalafs, right? Different dialects. Hopefully that's right. But different khalafs. There's people who can recite any verse in the Quran, even if it's like in the middle of a surah. They can do that, and that's because they've definitely done far more than 2400 hours of memorizing and revising Quran. It's a volume game. It's work more, and you get exceptional. That's why you just cannot waste time. You cannot waste time, dude. You have to be working on something, because if you want to be exceptional, it takes time. And that's how it is, because like I said, you can't just wake up one day and decide that I'm gonna be exceptional and then just work really hard for like a few days on one thing and then suddenly become exceptional. It takes time, because anyone can do the same thing as you and wake up and like work for 16 hours and never work in the same thing again. Anyone can do that. So automatically you're not exceptional, because anyone can do that. Anyone can work that much. But by working more and getting more done and having more experience, more volume put into the activity than anyone else, of like hopefully deliberate practice where you're like not just like mindlessly doing the thing, but you actually reflect on it. That is what separates you, because no one can just wake up one day and suddenly decide to do 2400 hours of Quran in one day. Like, it's going to take them 2400 hours. It's going to take them 400 days of 6 hours working every single day to reach where you are. And then by the time they reach where you are, you'll have advanced even further. So starting early is actually the biggest thing you could do for yourself. Wow, that's like actually, that's kind of annoying and humbling, because technically, like, it always feels like you could have started earlier on like whatever thing, like on Quran memorization, etc. I remember my mom asked me one time when I was young, like maybe in middle school. I should not have been making decisions for myself, honestly. I don't know why she was so nice to me. But she asked me if I wanted to do hifz and memorize the Quran, and I was like, no, because I was too busy with video games and like friends. Like, I shouldn't have been able to make that decision. Dude. I kind of regret it, because like, imagine if I already like memorized the Quran at this point at my age, because I started memorizing at like 11. Like, that'd be so sick. You know what I mean? That'd be so cool. But that's not the case, and like, you can't just beat yourself up over it. You know what I mean? The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time to start is now. And that's how I feel with like YouTube. Because I've wanted to be a YouTuber for quite a while. Like, even when I was 14, 15, I wanted to be like a comedy YouTuber. I uploaded one short, like a TikTok basically, and I just stopped and I never did it again. Like, wow. Like, it just feels like, wow, like what would have happened if I took it like seriously and went all in 3 years ago when I was 15. Like I would literally have like a whole business and be making money in theory if I like went all in. But I didn't. I didn't put in the work that separates me from other people. And that pisses me off. You know what I mean? I'm kind of mad at my younger self for that. Not even my 15-year-old self, but like more like my 16 and 17-year-old self where he like got onto like self-improvement and wanted to make like a educational YouTube channel, but he just didn't, man. He just did not. For whatever reason, he just did not. And now here I am, like 2 years later. Like I have the experience. I learned a lot, of course, but imagine how much more I would have learned if I started and like went full in on that YouTube thing. Like even if I had no clue what I was doing, just go full in. I wasn't down talking there. But that's the point. Like I'm still young. I'm still a baby. 18 years old is genuinely nothing. My mom is like almost triple my age, I think. Or maybe double. Double. My dad's almost triple my age. Like people have been in business for like longer than I've even been born. Alex Hormozy's been in business since I was like 8 years old. Like I'm still like very young, which is actually very exciting because that means if I that means I can start now, right? That means I can start now on so many things and still become so exceptional and separate myself from other people through like becoming exceptional and just being so good at stuff. And that honestly makes me excited because inshallah if I live to see if I live long enough to have kids and stuff like that, and if Allah blesses me with that, because it's completely, genuinely, it's completely in Allah's hands. Like anything could go wrong. You could die. Like partner could be infertile. Like this, I don't like to talk about this stuff that much, but like Allah is completely in control of that. Subhanallah. 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 But yeah, if He does bless me to have kids, inshallah, I would like love to just get them off on like such a good start and have them enjoy the journey like that. And that's honestly like sad. But that's like that makes me happy. But then when I think about it again, it's just this is just the dunya, bro. This is just the dunya. Even if I didn't start 2 years ago, it's fine. This dunya is very, very deceiving, right? Like I could go and try to be exceptional and enjoy it and make a lot of money. It'll be nice, inshallah. Like it'll definitely be nice, but in the end of the day, Islam, Allah, remembering Allah, praying, fulfilling our duty to worship on this earth, that's the most important thing. And that, like, having a son like that's honestly very comforting. Because even if I didn't perform to the maximum in my dunya life, if I keep my akhirah intact, I keep remembering Allah, then it's fine. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna die. You're gonna go to either Jannah or Jahannam, either heaven or hell. And if you end up in heaven, you're the ultimate winner. SubhanAllah, bro. SubhanAllah, gardens, rivers of honey and milk, whatever. Like, and basically anything you want. Like, gardens and stuff like that. Like, I really like that stuff. Anything you want in Jannah, you'll have. You'll be fulfilled. Everything in Jannah will get better. Like, that's how Jannah works. That's how heaven works. That's how I understand it to work from like what I've learned from my teachers is that everything in it gets better constantly. So if you take a bite of an apple, it'll be so good. And when you take the next bite, it'll be even better than the first bite. And when you take the third bite, it'll be better than both of those bites. It'll just keep getting better and better and better and better. We can't comprehend that obviously in our life because that's not how things work here. Right? That's not how the law of the land works. Like if I eat an apple, it's not just gonna keep getting better. But that's how it works in Jannah. And people are always like, side tangent. People are always like, oh, heaven's gonna be so boring. No, it's not, dude, because you're given everything you want, everything gets better. You're going to be not like brainwashed or anything, but you're going to like be given what you want and what's going to fulfill you in that life. Like you might not think that like gardens are gonna fulfill you in this life, but they will in that life. And that's why it's not like your personality, from my understanding, will still be like intact. Like you will still be you. You won't just be like this brainwashed person in just eternal bliss with the trees and the rivers and the gardens. Like you'll still have your personality. So you'll have the things that you like. Like it'll still be personal. but you'll get everything you like. Everything will keep getting better, and like if you want a challenge, you would have a challenge. You know what I mean? Like anything you want, you'll get, inshallah, if you go to Jannah. That's the ultimate triumph, bro. That is the ultimate victory. And in that, I can be like, I can forgive my past self and just look forward to the future and keep remembering Allah and keep Islam close, your keep your deen close. So I didn't even expect it to take this turn, but subhanallah.